Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 8, text number 56. Labdva dravyamayi marcham shitiyam vadishu varchaye abhritatma muni shanto yatavan mitavanyabho. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It is possible to worship a form of the Lord made of physical elements such as earth, water, pulp, wood, and metal. In the forest, one can make a form with no more than earth and water and worship him according to the above principles. A devotee who has full control over his self should be very sober and peaceful and must be satisfied simply with eating whatever fruits and vegetables are available in the forest. Purport. It is essential for a devotee to worship the form of the Lord, and not only meditate upon the form of the Lord within his mind, with chanting of the mantra given by the spiritual master. The worship of the form must be present. The impersonalist takes unnecessary trouble to meditate upon or worship something impersonal. The path is very precarious. We are not advised to follow the impersonalist way of meditating or worshipping the Lord. Dhruva Maharaj was advised to worship a form made of earth and water, because in the jungle, if it is not possible to have a form of metal, wood, or stone, the best process is to take earth mixed with water and make a form of the Lord and worship him. The devotee should not be anxious about cooking food. Whatever is available in the forest or in the city among the fruits and vegetable groups should be offered to the deity. And the devotee should be satisfied eating that. He should not be anxious to have any very palatable dishes. Of course, wherever it is possible, one should offer the deities the best foodstuffs, prepared within the category of fruits and vegetables, cooked or uncooked. Important factor is that devotee should be regulated. Mithabhu, one who has got good qualifications of a devotee. He should not hanker to satisfy the tongue with a particular kind of foodstuff. He should be satisfied to eat whatever prasadam is available by the grace of the Lord. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So the next instruction of Narada Rishi to Dhruva Maharaj is giving details of how he can make a form of the Lord. Because previous verse he said one should worship the Lord by offering so many things: pure water, flower garlands, fruit, flowers, vegetables, etc., tulsi, etc. Then he says how he can make the form of the Lord. Already in earlier verse it was mentioned that everything has to be done, can be done, according to consideration of place, time, and conveniences and inconveniences with regard to this worship of the form of the Lord. So here it is said that he can make a form with no more than earth and water and worship him according to that principles. So that is the first part. Second part is about devotee who has full control over itself should be very sober and peaceful and must be satisfied simply with eating whatever fruits and vegetables are available in the forest. So it is said here that now Dhruva Maharaj's circumstances is that he is in the forest. So earth is available, water is available. So Dhruva Maharaj was advised, you make a form of the Lord made of earth and water. So let's discuss that first. We all know the principle of incarnation of the Lord as the Archa Vigraha. Because the living entities in this material world, they're not awakened their spiritual senses, they're not purified their mind. Yet, in order to give an opportunity for such conditioned souls who are blind, spiritually blind, to such blind conditioned souls, the Lord very mercifully incarnates in the material elements, and that is Archa Vigraha, one of the incarnation. Shabda Vigraha is also there. So the Lord appears as the Archa Vigraha, and the Archa Vigraha is a very merciful form of the Lord. Out of His causeless mercy, the Supreme Transcendental Lord, who is beyond the three modes of material nature, unaffected by three modes of material nature, becomes that Vigraha made of matter. Matter is different, three modes of material nature is different. The action of matter to make the living entities forget who He is, action of matter on the consciousness of the living entity to make them forget who they are, that action is called three modes of material nature. The three modes of material nature, they act upon our thinking, feeling, willing, doing, desiring, enjoying, etc. It is the soul's property in this body to think, feel, will, desire, see, do, enjoy, desire, all those things. The soul's nature. So three modes of material nature, they modify our seeing, they influence our seeing in a way in which you don't see Krishna. You do in a way in which it's not connected to Krishna. You desire in a way it is not connected to Krishna. You think, feel and will in a way completely forgetful of Krishna. You enjoy in a way which is independent of Krishna. So all disconnecting from Krishna, that is called three modes of material nature. So if you simply be a servant of Krishna, see everything as a property of Krishna, as servant of Krishna, desire everything for the pleasure of Krishna, think, feel and will as per the plans, desires and purposes of Krishna, enjoy being enjoyed by Krishna, then there is no three modes of material nature. Even though you are dealing with matter, even though we are doing all these things, desiring with our material mind, we are desiring with our material body, we are desiring with our material intelligence, all of them become spiritualized. So we have to differentiate between three modes of material nature and matter. Three modes of material nature is a characteristic, three characteristic ways in which material energy impacts the consciousness of the soul. Sattva means a particular characteristic way of impacting. Rajasic means another characteristic way of impacting. Tamasic means another characteristic of impacting. and they mix together in different proportions. And when they mix together in different proportions, just like three colors are mixed together, you get different shades of color. In the same way, different consciousness, and those different consciousness, when three mixed together, is also classified under 84 lakh species of consciousness. Within that 4 lakh species, is human species. That means within the human species, there are gradations from total tamasic to higher mix of tamasic to higher mix of sattvic. And this is, as far as all these things are concerned, they are, even if you are very sattvic, people in this material world need not be Krishna conscious. Mayavadis, impersonalists, they have very sattvic life they lead. But they have no Krishna consciousness. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, no God. So that is also possible. So that's why Krishna tells Arjuna, rise above the three modes of material nature. Rise above the Vedic injunctions of which are meant for, because I am the purpose of the Vedas, etc. So now, a very important thing to understand, the Vaishnavas understand the difference between matter and material modes. Matter is spiritual. Matter is as spiritual as soul. Because that is an energy of the Lord, eternal energy of the Lord. Soul is also eternal energy of the Lord. Whereas if you see the impersonalist school of thought, matter, they associate matter with, matter is illusion. We say that the matter, how you interpret matter, for instance, you see this body, you interpret that I am this body, that is material. But matter body itself is not illusion. When it exists, it's a reality. It's a reality. It is the Leela of the Lord. Material creation itself is a Leela of the Lord. So in that sense, God is already there. We are seeing God everywhere. When you see His energy, He is there. It is as absolute. Matter energy is as absolute as the Lord Himself. Because these are all tattvas. The Lord, the Jiva, marginal energy, internal energy, external energy. They're all eternal. So therefore, where is the difficulty if the Lord wills to come into a body made of mud and water? If the devotee lovingly wants to serve Him in his present capacity of operating only in the material senses, then the Lord says, yes, I will come. And Archa Vigraha, He enters the Archa Vigraha in a form that is resembling the form that He has made. So that when He focuses on that form, when He gets attached to that form, He simultaneously gets attached to the transcendental substance of the Lord. The Aprakrita Lord, the transcendental Lord, enters such Vigraha in a transcendental form, which resembles the form of the external Vigraha, matter Vigraha. And The Lord is, as Prabhupada says, the Lord can convert matter into spirit, spirit into matter in its function. Even though we say matter is ultimately spirit, it has a very specific function which is different from the internal energy. But Prabhupada says the external energy can be converted, its function can be converted by the will of the Lord. Just like the deity, instead of making people forget Krishna, they remind you of Krishna. So, it is spiritual. So, the transcendental Lord, the Aprakrita Lord, takes on the deity is supposed to have been taken a Virat form, which means not what we see there with our limited eyes. The Lord enters in his Virat form. Whenever he takes a form in this material world, Prabhupada explains the principle that any form the Lord takes in this material world, which is meant to be seen by us, which is meant to be seen by our material ears, is not a small portion of earth or small portion of water or small portion of metal. No. It is Virat form of the Lord in the sense it appears to be only that much. But actually the entire material energy is entered the material Vigraha. Matter Vigraha. Not material, matter Vigraha. Because when the Supreme Lord comes down into this material world, material energy is his, no? So when the boss comes, everybody is there. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. So when he comes down in the material world, entire gross, subtle, entire material energy, everything is at his command, in his body. So the external Vigraha of the deity is not an ordinary. That is where Shraddha is required. The Lord, by his omnipotency and his inconceivable, costless mercy, these two qualities, the external Vigraha becomes him because he is residing there. So therefore, where is the difficulty in understanding that the worship of the Lord in this particular form made of earth, water, pulp, water, metal is Krishna himself. For functional purposes, that matter Vigraha is as good as himself. Because the Lord is simultaneously one and different from all his energies. So anytime, just like Lord can become a deity. So similarly, Lord Shakti can become Prabhupada. That is why it's called Shakti Aveshavatara. The Shakti of the Lord has entered him. Shakti Aveshavatara. So how much Shakti, what, etc. These are all different kinds of incarnations are there. Different kinds of incarnations. So, therefore, it is not that we worship the Lord, some external Vigraha, so that one day we concentrate that Vigraha, then I don't need external Vigraha. Then I'll close my eyes and think of external Vigraha. After that, after some time, my external Vigraha, I worship, and I become the worshipped. This is Mayavadi understanding. the external vigraha is only a means for something internal. We are not saying that. External vigraha is as absolute. In fact, more absolute than your idea of deity. Because we are all contaminated. Mental idea, the image you form of the deity in your mind, it may not be as effective as the deity outside. For the simple reason that we are not able to see it with faith and with full faith and purity in our mind, the deity. So it is very significant here. Prabhupada is saying here, a very small point but very important. Dhruva Maharaj was advised to worship a form made of earth, water, because in jungle it's not possible to have a form made of etc. Before that, we are not advised to follow the impersonalist way of meditating on or worshipping the Lord. That's what I explained. They also worship bhakti yoga. They have. That is how I became an atheist for few years. When I read one so-called great spiritualist of this country, when I was 16 years old, I read. Till then I was so God conscious. He wrote, kick the idols in the temple, you'll be nearer to God by playing football with all your concentration. Oh my God. So what is this? Got shocked. Because when you're a kid, big guys say, big names, Swami so-and-so, Swami so-and-so. Acha, so all this was sankalpa, all imagination, some processes meant for something, I concluded. Not really there is God, not really there is all these things. So, we are not advised to follow the impersonal way of meditating or worshipping of the Lord. What that Swami is saying, that worshipping the Lord is for concentration. Play football expertly, that is also bhakti yoga. Concentration is the goal. So, such powerful statements are made, really very atheistic. You feel, very confidently the person is saying. And he's a spiritualist also. An ordinary person says you won't believe. That is why it's a high level of deception. Just like so many people, they use Bhagavad Gita's message and talk impersonalism. High level of deception. Oh, Swamiji is speaking Bhagavad Gita, pravachan, let me go and sit. Bhagavad Gita. Somewhere he has heard Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has spoken wonderful things or something. Before coming, he was in a better situation. At least Krishna was in his focus. Then he starts hearing this Swami talking all those things. Then Bhagavad Gita is for business. There are only few yogas mentioned by Krishna. Now somebody starts business yoga as per Bhagavad Gita. We should be very careful. Even devotees should be very careful. These are all sanctified, divine messages of the Lord. It should not be tampered with. Even for the sake of saying that for preaching. Certain things you cannot cross for the sake of preaching. It becomes offensive. So anyway, that's going on all over the country. Different kinds of spiritualists who are impersonalists, who also worship the Lord. So we have to be very careful. Their conception is completely different. What do they say? You give power to the deity. Because you give power to the deity, that power comes back to you. Then nothing in the deity. Just see how completely different it is. We are seeing that no, deity, God himself is there. He is saying, no, you give power to the deity, and then deity gives you power. So more bhakti you have towards a deity, more power will come from the deity. See how similar it looks. Because we also say, the more bhakti, the Lord's more mercy you will get. So they also say, the more bhakti you have for the deity will reflect back more bhakti, more power to you. Now next point that is being stressed here is, I don't know where that is. Anyway, somewhere in this I happened to come across where it is said that it should be an external deity. It's important that one, previous one or not enough in the mind, there should be an external deity. There is great significance in this. The external deity, generally we tend to think that, okay, outside deity Vigraha is there. What is in my mind is important. No. The Lord has appeared there in his Vigraha. Outside he is important. Going and paying physical obeisances to the deity is important. Not you mentally pay obeisances. When you are, when your mind is so pure, then the deity is another equal Vigraha, Archa Vigraha in your mind. Then it is different. There also is not a concoction, is because he is detached from his mind. In the mind element, the Lord has taken incarnation as Archa Vigraha. So ultimately, worshipping the deity is free from illusion. There is no illusion, there is no concoction, there is only Shraddha. Some imagining that God is in this form. No. God has. That is why it is explained how God comes in this form. In fact, our entire cause of material existence is what? Is our mind. Mental speculation. Our mental theories. Our dependence upon the mind. So we have to come out of the mental platform, means this external deity is very important. These material elements are more absolute, free from illusion than my mind. So we should come out of the mind. Just like chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We should come out of the mind. This is a reality in front of me, Shabda Vigraha. It is not that one day you chant, then you go silent and this. That is very There is a way of chanting silent, but at the same time, there also you are free from your mental speculation, and you are identifying with the sukshma shabda externally as an incarnation of the Lord in my mind. Tendency is something you take in my mind means I can think anything, make out, imagine and do everything. No, people who become free from all imagination, people who have become free from mental speculation can do the other kinds of silent japa. Otherwise, japa is mistaken to be, mental. It's not mental. So now another point before we close about prasadam. Of course, whatever is possible, one should offer the dacha. He should not be anxious to have very palatable dishes. Of course, wherever it is possible, one should offer the deity the best foodstuffs, prepared within the category of fruits and vegetables, cooked or uncooked. Important factor is that devotee should be regulated. That is one who has good qualifications of a devotee, mita bhuk. He should not hanker to satisfy the tongue with a particular kind of foodstuff. He should be satisfied to eat whatever prasadam is available by the grace of the Lord. So this is a very important instruction for us, because we are simultaneously encouraged to indulge in prasadam. At the same time, there are certain restrictions. We have to honor prasadam, transcendently indulging that it is Krishna's mercy. It purifies our consciousness. When prasadam is honored in the spirit of the Mahaprasade Govinde, the entire prayer, Sharira Vidyajal, the prasadam is Krishna himself. So prasadam is very happy. Just like Nama Prabhu is very happy. Prasadam will be very happy if we honor prasadam in the consciousness of Sharira Vidyajal, because that is the purpose of its incarnation. That is the purpose Krishna makes food into prasadam. So in the process of honoring Krishna prasadam, we also have to be very careful about, getting attached to particular type of this thing, prasadam. We will have our own nature. We all have our own nature as per our body sometimes, or the way we are brought up. One may like Kerala, one may like, North Indian, South Indian. All these things will be there. Not that it won't be there. It will be there. But we have to accept whatever comes by Lord's mercy, that prasadam we should accept. This is an instruction for individuals. This is not an instruction for management. Management has to give good prasadam. Temple management has to see that the devotees are all satisfied with good prasadam. That is different from, in case management doesn't give good prasadam, what the devotee should do? They should do this. That is a rule for the individual. Once in Hyderabad farm, there's this famous incident where Prabhupada, he saw that the devotees had cooked khichdi and it was so bad. Prabhupada said, even dogs cannot eat it. Chastised everybody, called everybody and chastised them. So prasadam is prasadam, but management, you're wrong. Because we are preaching Krishna consciousness, we have to give tasty prasadam. You chant Hare Krishna in tune, no tune, out of kartal tune, all those things also, it is transcendental. But who is hearing? Conditioned souls. They get disturbed. What is this kartal going here, that way? What is this? Do good kirtan here. Exactly in the same way, prasadam also is transcendental. Whatever comes, all right, with salt, no salt, it has come, no problem. So for preaching, we have to, the management has to always see that, devotees are satisfied with good prasadam. At the same time, what is good? Now tomorrow don't come and say, Prabhu, management is not giving, every day we need sweet. Why not too sweet? Everybody will be more pleased. Prabhu told in the class, management should please the devotees with good prasadam. So there also, we have to see health. Every day you eat sugar, you will have problems. I remember by experience, early days, every day we used to have one sweet, long back. Figured out every devotee is having knee ache, this pain, that pain, and all. Eating sugar. It's all bad. Fried items, eat your body cannot take. You will fall sick. Even if it is prasadam, you will fall sick. When you fall sick, maybe, it's an opportunity for you to read and all. It will become devotional only. It will become devotional because prasadam is prasadam. Fried or not fried. Prasadam is prasadam. It has spiritual effect. You lie in the bed and then you will have to do your japa. Which is better? Do japa in a better state. So all this, we cannot violate the material laws of nature. Material laws of nature is Krishna. This is understanding. We should have respect. Krishna himself does not break because material energy is working under his order. He doesn't suddenly change order of the material laws. Okay. Now devotee prasadam is taking. Let him eat all the fried. Nothing will happen to his stomach. No. Krishna says, okay, let him eat. His stomach also, let him handle. Transcendental benefit I will give. Material benefit, let him take. For himself. It is up to him. Every action has a reaction. We should be extremely cautious in what we do with the material energy. Any questions? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Question regarding humility and tolerance. So, when we talk about cultivating humility, is it correct to say that that can fully depend on development of transcendental knowledge? That can fully depend on development of transcendental knowledge. In other words, if one sufficiently gets exposed to transcendental knowledge, he can proportionately develop humility. But when it comes to tolerance,